Stephen Natalie, Charlie and Diane. Mornings on the Power of 2000.
On World News Tonight this Monday, that hijacked plane in Afghanistan, the pressure is getting intense. Does the public really have to stock up because of a possible computer bug? The public doesn't think so. The Eiffel Tower survived the wind, but a lot else in Europe got hammered by the weather. And can't get enough of those fabulous pictures from space? We have more. And the mission was a great success.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening and welcome to a special Northwest edition of World News Tonight here on Channel 2. We're going to begin at a freezing cold airport in Afghanistan. It is a very dangerous scene. The more than 150 passengers on the Indian Airlines Airbus have now been hostages for more than 4 days. They're mostly Indians, but there's also a handful of Europeans, one American, a Canadian, and a Japanese. The hostage takers appear to be struggling for an independent Kashmir, which is occupied and fought over by India and Pakistan. ABC's Lynn Sher reports from the region tonight that in almost every respect, the pressure to end this somehow is rising.
From inside the plane, the hostage takers spoke by radio with the Indian delegation, flown in from New Delhi only today, 4 days into the crisis. The hijackers are demanding the release from Indian prisons of several pro-Kashmir militants, but there is no word on specifics of the conversation. The pressure to reach a solution was evident from this report, describing the scene at Kandahar Airport in Afghanistan, where the ruling Taliban has unsuccessfully tried to avoid getting involved.
I'm just near the airport, about 300 meters away from the plane. I can see armed Taliban fighters surrounding it. The Taliban have said that they will storm it if the hijackers start killing anyone on board.
In the Indian capital, New Delhi, the pressure came from angry and frustrated relatives of the passengers. They stormed the gates of India's Civil Aviation Ministry, demanding action from a government they accuse of doing nothing. Another group protested in front of the Prime Minister's residence, bitter about the government's vow not to give in to the hijackers.
The government is playing politics. Opposition is playing politics. Is it the matter of playing politics here when people's lives are involved?
With the negotiating team in place and with the hijackers letting their first deadline pass without incident, there does appear to be some hope, but a solution had better come quickly. More than 150 people are still imprisoned in a long metal tube, with conditions deteriorating inside and sub-zero temperatures outside. Lynn Sher, ABC News, New Delhi.
Well, never has there been a Christmas-New Year season with such preoccupation about potential terrorism. Visitors from Canada today often waited 2 hours, as here at the Niagara Falls crossing, to make it over the longest undefended border in the world. And according to the FBI, the 7 people arrested yesterday crossing at Blaine in Washington state have no connection with terrorism after all. The general public is somewhat more concerned about the possibility of a terrorist action somewhere around New Year's Eve, which may not be surprising given how much attention it gets from the media and the government warnings about being on guard. The percentage of people somewhat concerned has gone from 18% to 31% in a week. Overall, the response in our poll was very measured. The number of people very concerned about terrorism is virtually unchanged from a week ago. Well, even though we've been at it for a year, the reporting about potential computer problems causing chaos at New Year's will get more intense. In the next few days, on our worldwide Millennium broadcast, we'll have reporters at Y2K headquarters in New Zealand, the first industrial country to know if there are problems, and in Washington, which will monitor the world. In part because of the early reporting on Y2K, there may be fewer problems. Jackie Judd reports that most people are certainly less concerned than they were a year ago.
4 days and counting to the millennium, and shoppers are stocking up, but they are not stampeding through the aisles and hoarding.
Nothing exorbitant, but just a little bit to get us through in case there is a problem.
Costco, a nationwide discount chain, says it has sold twice as many generators, twice as much water this December compared to last December. Flashlight sales jumped 75%. Consumers worried about home security are buying safe. 50% more were sold this month than a year ago. Those with even greater security concerns are buying guns.
People are concerned that if the power goes out and riots break out and people start burglarizing their schools, they're going to protect their property.
The FBI ran about 25% more instant background checks last week than the same week in 1998, although a spokesman cautions there could be other factors at play, such as the booming economy.
And you're good to go. Have a good New Year.
Another essential, gasoline, no hoarding there either, and a government official says there is plenty to go around.
You could have 200 million cars all show up to get 10 gallons of gas each, and there's another 100 million gallons of gas in addition to that available.
And when it comes to stashing away extra cash, banks are not reporting a run on withdrawals. A Federal Reserve survey showed only 1/5 of those asked definitely planning to visit an ATM before New Year's. So far, Americans seem to be taking Y2K in stride. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Washington.
On the money tonight, it was a mixed day on the stock market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down more than 14 points to close at 11,391. On the NASDAQ, stocks were up just a shade under 6 points. The final numbers on the holiday sales don't actually come out for weeks, but the Wall Street Journal said today that total retail sales are expected to be up as much as 8% from last year. And a company called BizRate.com estimates that online sales increased 400%. We're going to talk for just a couple of minutes about this e-commerce Christmas with Jeff Bezos, who's the founder of America's biggest online retailer, Amazon.com. He's at the company's Seattle headquarters, and with Bruce Van Cleek, who is the vice president of the National Retail Federation, and he joins us from a mall in Virginia, appropriately. But Mr. Bezos, let me start with you. You're such an enormous cheerleader for e-commerce. Did it live up to expectations?
I think it did for the most part. It depends on the company. People are learning that, unfortunately, not all e-commerce companies are created equal. There's a big learning curve. Some companies didn't focus enough on the back-end logistics, but by and large, I think things went really well for customers.
What are the back-end logistics, like delivery?
Yes, some of the stuff that, the less glamorous but incredibly important part of the business. Fulfillment and shipping and customer service. You have to have a great website that's easy to use, but you also have to build distribution centers like this one and have customer service centers. You have to be old-fashioned in some regards, and believe me, shipping products to customers is really important.
Well, Mr. Van Cleek, we find you in a mall in Virginia, and we hear today, at least, that retail in the conventional sense went up as well. Does that just mean there was more money around this summer and that you didn't get hurt by e-commerce?
No, I would say clearly the growth of retail sales are a product of a very strong economy. High consumer confidence, low unemployment, all those various economic factors are driving the sales. They've been strong throughout the year.
And in the longer term, do you think that Americans are going to be shopping a lot in e-commerce and retail sellers should be really worried?
No, I don't think so at all. In fact, many traditional brick-and-mortar retail companies have very successful online shopping vehicles. So clearly this is the growth for retail sales in all channels.
I want to ask you just one question about your own Christmas shopping. What did you buy on the net, and did it get delivered?
Actually, I bought some videos, and I bought some CDs, and I did buy some products from Amazon, and they were delivered on time as expected. So I had a great online shopping experience.
You sound like an advertisement for Mr. Bezos. Mr. Bezos, what did you buy in a store?
Well, I've been buying, I always, of course, buy even half of my books, which is one of the categories Amazon.com is best known for, in physical stores. Physical shopping isn't going away.
And do you think it isn't going away because people will still want the communality that being with other people brings?
I think that's exactly right. We're a gregarious species, and we're not about to stop going outside and visiting with people in stores.
Well, that's a very encouraging word to hear at the Christmas season. Thank you very much, Jeff Bezos and Mr. Van Cleek, speaking to us from Virginia. In a moment, the path of rubble through Western Europe. By clear contrast, they haven't seen a storm like this in 50 years. And who is legally responsible when a life-saving device doesn't work? We'll take a closer look.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Advil.
There's my husband, Nolan Ryan, still throwing heat. Can you believe he's got arthritis? You see, Nolan's doctor says the best way to control arthritis pain is to keep moving. And to make it easier, he recommends Advil. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain, yet it's gentle on his stomach. In fact, I take Advil for my arthritis pain. That way, we can exercise together.
Advil, stronger than pain. Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store. Or you can shop our catalog.
You can shop online.
Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. Work out.
Office Depot. Taking care of business.
Every year we surprise someone with $10 million. But not this year.
Publishers Clearinghouse kicks off the 21st century with $21 million on TV Super Bowl Sunday. Watch your mail or go to PCH.com and enter.
Worried about Y2K? Get a new Buick. Why? Let's say the city goes dark. Buick's headlights come on automatically. Very clever. No heat, dual climate control. So get cozy in your comfy power seat with your portable TV and watch the test pattern. During Buick's Not to Worry event, get a Century 2000 Special Edition with a Millennium offer worth $2,000. Just in time for the year 2000. No blow dryer? Sunroof.
Yoo-hoo! Ready?
Ready for a better way to get my fiber.
Use your concentration.
New Phillips fiber caps don't contain sweeteners like most powders. They're concentrated, so they're just as effective as Metamucil. New Phillips fiber caps, effective fiber therapy without the powder.
In Europe tonight, the struggle to recover, just as they're getting ready to celebrate the millennium in a big way. By all accounts, these have been the worst winter storms in half a century at least. Another storm is hitting France right now. The deputy mayor of Paris calls it an ecological disaster and says Paris will need 3 years to recover. Across Europe, almost 80 people have died, more than half of them in France. Here's ABC's Mike Lee.
There has never been anything like this, said one French official. The result of storms that have ripped through much of Europe with a virtual avalanche of rain and violent hurricane-force winds. The numbers are staggering. Hundreds of rivers flooded, cutting off dozens of towns. Roads washed out. Entire forests flattened like matchsticks. In Belgium, 30,000 people suddenly lost their drinking water because floods contaminated reservoirs. Throughout Switzerland, Belgium, and Germany, thousands of houses were destroyed or damaged. Nearly 1 million homes were left without electricity in France alone. This is a big problem for us, said this man. Everything we have needs electricity, so we can do nothing. Everywhere there seem to be dramatic examples of the freak weather that has caught Europe off guard. Cars crushed beneath fallen trees. A train forced off the track and many lines closed. An airplane turned upside down like a toy. Several major airports also closed. A circus tent collapsed. Along hundreds of miles of the northern coast of France, the gale-force winds have blown ashore a huge oil slick from a sunken tanker ship. Environmentalists warned that it could destroy huge numbers of birds and sea life. In Paris, the Eiffel Tower survived, but many of the treasured old trees that gave the city part of its charm did not. Streets and buildings famous for their style suddenly seemed a mess. The Cathedral of Notre Dame was damaged. At the Palace of Versailles, it will take the next 2 centuries to replace the 10,000 trees destroyed. Hundreds of thousands of Christmas travelers were stranded because public transport was disrupted. And tonight, another severe storm has hit France. Mike Lee, ABC News, London.
Back home again, 2 of entertainment's biggest stars spent much of this Monday after Christmas in the New York City police station. Jennifer Lopez and the rap mogul Sean Puffy Combs were held for possessing a stolen gun. Late this afternoon, police dropped the charges against Lopez and she went free. But police say that Combs, his driver, and a bodyguard were charged. The man who made ABC a major television network has died. Leonard Goldenson took over ABC when it was near bankruptcy in 1953, and he led it for 33 years. Many people didn't expect the network to last, but it did thanks to him. Mr. G, as some of us called him, called his memoirs Beating the Odds. He had a passionate interest in the news division and in public service, and also a passionate interest in the division's most junior employees. Some of the programs which emerged on his watch were American Bandstand, Lawrence Welk, The Mickey Mouse Club, Happy Days, Laverne, and Shirley, not to mention Wide World of Sports. Howard Cosell, Michael Eisner, who runs Disney now, and Ted Koppel, among others, were all hired and encouraged when Leonard Goldenson was the boss. He was 94 when he died today in Florida. We'll be back in just a moment.
You are in the fight of your life. Just you against your smoking addiction, one-on-one. Trouble is, it's not a fair fight, and few people win it. But you can give yourself a fighting chance to win with Zyban. Zyban doesn't work for everyone. Zyban is part of a comprehensive program from your doctor to help you stop smoking. It's different from nicotine replacements. Zyban is the only prescription medicine that's nicotine-free, so you don't have to stop smoking all at once. As Zyban reduces your cravings, you feel like smoking less and less until you're ready to stop completely because you're ready to win. You should know there is a risk of seizure associated with Zyban. To reduce the risk, don't take Zyban if you have or have had a seizure or eating disorder, or if you take Wellbutrin. Don't take Zyban if you use an MAO inhibitor. Side effects may include dry mouth and difficulty sleeping. Ask your doctor if Zyban is right for you because it can help you quit smoking by making it a fight you can win. Zyban, you don't have to quit all at once.
If you put something off for an entire year, how would people describe you? Lazy? A procrastinator? How about smart? Introducing Mitsubishi's 000 till 01 event. Buy any Mitsubishi and pay 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2001. Hey, why do today what you can do? Mitsubishi's 000 till 01 event ends January 3rd.
Hey, Annie Matthews. What's on your plate today?
Today's going to be great, but really busy. 10, maybe 15 cuts.
Lunch here, Annie.
I'll probably grab a quick bite when I can.
Annie, your 2 o'clock's here.
And maybe get heartburn. I used to think Tums if I'd already eaten. Not anymore.
You can take Pepcid AC whenever you need it. Pepcid AC controls heartburn before, during, or even after you eat.
Of course I can take you.
No matter what's on your plate, today should be heartburn-free with Pepcid AC.
Just before the broadcast tonight, we were asking ourselves, why was this a good day to take a closer look at pacemakers? And putting aside any seasonal joke about this being a heartfelt season, the reason is this. As a century of astounding technology comes to an end, including the ability to regulate the heart with a mechanical pacemaker, our medical reporting team spotted a trend which will worry many people. It is getting more difficult for people to get legal satisfaction if they are harmed by a product which may be crucial to sustaining life. Pacemakers, for example. Here's ABC's Deborah Amos.
Laura Lohr had a dangerously rapid heartbeat. A pacemaker solved the problem, but then, without warning, her pacemaker stopped.
I just went completely blacked out, and then I'd come to, and then I'd black out again.
The lead wire sending the electronic impulses from her pacemaker to her heart was defective.
My heart actually stopped beating completely.
After a series of surgeries, Laura's legal battles began. She first contacted Medtronic, the pacemaker lead manufacturer, to pay the medical bills.
We got a letter back basically saying that we will see you in court.
To all intents and purposes, this was a very typical products liability suit against a manufacturer for a defective product that had caused harm.
But the judge denied her day in court. He ruled that because the Food and Drug Administration had approved her pacemaker lead, the manufacturer could not be sued, even if the lead caused harm.
I was shocked. I mean, I feel like if you can sue for bad brakes on a car, if somebody gets hurt, but you can't for a medical device that's keeping me alive, that to me is unheard of.
Lohr decided to fight the ruling. She went all the way to the Supreme Court, winning her case in 1996. But the Supreme Court ruling was specific only to her case. That left the door open for medical device manufacturers to deny other injured people the right to sue.
Many of those injured people are not as committed to fight for their rights. So manufacturers with products from pesticides that harm people to airbags in cars have also been immune from suits because the product was approved for use by a federal agency. Brian Wolfman is a lawyer with Ralph Nader's Public Citizen.
Congress, when it passed these consumer protection statutes in the first place, they were trying to protect consumers. It's absolutely essential that consumers get compensated for their medical expenses and other harms.
For Laura Lohr, victory came 6 long years after a defective pacemaker lead almost killed her.
Our medical team came across these legal challenges while working on the story about the technical problems with pacemakers which do put people at risk. But as we said, this is a century of amazing technological progress. Here once again is ABC's Deborah Amos.
Did you have anything to eat or drink today?
Nothing.
At the Cleveland Clinic, Tom Olson is readied for a remarkable operation.
This patch is cold and wet. I'm sorry.
A wire that sends electrical impulses from his pacemaker to his heart is defective. The problem is, the defective lead is now embedded in scar tissue. Dr. Bruce Wolkoff is a pioneer in using the latest technology to remove damaged pacemaker leads.
We'll be using some laser technology that essentially allows the scar tissue to melt away rather than have to peel or tear away the scar tissue.
It is technology that dramatically reduces the risk to patients.
I'm sorry to wake you up there, but this is the numbing medicine.
Wolkoff makes a small incision so he can examine the lead.
The lead is shorted out.
It will have to be replaced.
This is the laser sheath. We're going to take the sheath and advance it over the lead.
You're going to snake this thing down to the heart.
Exactly. The red laser light hits the tissue. It will melt through the tissue, and just millimeter by millimeter will pass over the lead all the way down to the heart. And then when it gets all the way down to the heart, there'll be no more scar tissue holding the lead in, so the lead will slide back out.
It's now easy to slip a new one in.
This is a vast improvement over the old technique to remove lead wires, which included tugging them out and separating them from the scar tissue. Now, the procedure takes under 10 minutes.
I feel a little dopey. I am aware that there's been some activity here, but it doesn't really hurt.
Activity he hopes will get him back to a normal life in just a matter of days. Deborah Amos, ABC News, Cleveland.
More than 100,000 Americans now get pacemakers every year, and there's a lot more about it on our website, abcnews.com. When we come back, fabulous pictures.
Okay, I'm showing 45 right.
When we asked some denture wearers why they don't use an adhesive, they didn't have a lot to say.
Don't need it.
My dentures fit fine. No problems here.
But after we gave them Fix-A-Dent, they just couldn't say enough.
It's amazing, the difference. It's a great new feeling of security.
Comfort.
Confidence.
I just plain forget I have them.
That's because Fix-A-Dent adjusts to the unique contours of your dentures and gums, forming a thin, powerful seal for a better hold than you ever thought possible.
I could just kick myself for not doing this sooner.
Find out for yourself what it feels like to Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
Super Bowl Sunday. In a special multimedia event, the Publishers Clearinghouse Prize Patrol will surprise someone with $21 million.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it. Oh, thank you so much.
It'll all happen on TV and at PCH.com.
Yes!
Watch your mail or go to PCH.com. Enter, and on Super Bowl Sunday, the $21 million winner could be you.
Before I quit smoking, I asked my doctor, is Nicorette safe? And he said, of course Nicorette is safe. Smoking is not. Nicorette has been proven safe and effective in dozens of clinical trials. And Nicorette offers the Committed Quitter Support Program, which my doc said is clinically proven to increase my chances of success by up to 50%. And when he told me that only Nicorette comes in mint, I knew that that was the right choice for me. So I took my doctor's advice, and you know what? It worked.
You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Worried about Y2K? Get a new Buick. Why? Let's say the city goes dark. Buick's headlights come on automatically. Very clever. No heat, dual climate control. So get cozy in your comfy power seat with your portable TV and watch the test pattern. During Buick's Not to Worry event, get a Century 2000 Special Edition with a Millennium offer worth $2,000. Just in time for the year 2000. No blow dryer? Sunroof.
6 weeks before one of the biggest games of my life, I felt a strange pain in my chest. What my doctor found was my toughest opponent yet. 3 of my arteries were more than 90% blocked. After recovering from surgery, lowering my high cholesterol became more important than football. Later, I was fortunate enough to coach my team in the biggest game of the season.
That's the kind of play we need.
Along with a healthy diet and regular exercise, taking Zocor every day helped significantly lower my total cholesterol.
Zocor is a prescription medication and is not right for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems. because serious side effects can result. Tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience while on Zocor and about any medicines you are taking.
When diet and exercise are not enough, talk to your doctor about Zocor. Take care of yourself. It's your future. Be there.
Just a brief review of our major story tonight. The hijackers of the Indian Airlines jet and Indian negotiators have been talking today under enormous pressure at a remote airport in Afghanistan. Afghanistan's ruling Taliban has threatened to storm the plane if the hijackers start killing passengers, which they have threatened to do. The Taliban spokesman said the negotiators have made no progress with the hijackers, who appear to be fighting for an independent Kashmir. Finally this evening, if you are like us, you never really get bored with pictures of men working in the weightlessness of space. All that dramatic color as the sun suddenly highlights men floating there against the eternal background of deeper space, or in some cases Earth. The latest astronauts come back to Earth tonight with a job very well done on the Hubble telescope, which will once again now give us even more fantastic pictures. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
It was high drama, 300 miles above the Earth's surface.
And Houston, we're ready and waiting.
Two teams of spacewalkers doing what amounted to brain surgery on this greatest of flying observatories.
We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery.
For NASA, coming off a tough year, rescuing the Hubble telescope was a mission that had to work. Hubble has taken some of the most remarkable images in all astronomy, shown how stars are born and die, helped calculate the age of the universe.
Copy. Thank you, Mike.
But by last month, it was crippled. 4 of the 6 gyroscopes that keep it pointed the right way having broken down.
Take about one more turn.
So the spacewalkers replaced them, plus an outdated computer and several other components, and it wasn't easy. It was like fixing a home computer with hockey gloves on.
Turn into here it comes. Keep going.
What's more, in the extreme temperatures of space, screws would not open and parts would not slide in place.
We weren't necessarily surprised by any of them. We were just surprised by so many of them that first day especially. Right at the end of the mission, as we were putting all the tools away, I had a couple of seconds just to look up and sort of survey the telescope up close and personal, and Hubble's doing really well.
Pressed for time, the astronauts never did finish everything. Another servicing mission is set for 2001. But the Hubble is reported back in operation, ready to open its eyes and peer once again at the universe. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
Thank you for watching this special edition of World News Tonight on Channel 2. Don't forget Channel 2 News at 11. I'm Peter Jennings. Hope you enjoy the rest of the evening and that we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
From ABC News tomorrow, it's a celebration. But what preparations are cities across the country making to keep you safe on New Year's Eve? We'll report from Times Square on Good Morning America tomorrow. And on World News Tonight, from orphanage to prep school, the makeover of one of America's oldest institutions. Watch World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.